And tonight at 5, they may be too young to vote, but local kids are still finding ways to get involved in this year's election. We'll show you how.
Plus, anti-Semitism is once again making headlines across the nation. How the incidents are impacting local communities.
And just days after billionaire Elon Musk takes over Twitter, thousands are now without jobs, why many more fear similar fates. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. Today is an alert day, and so is tomorrow as we look at a wet and windy forecast.
This is a live picture. You can barely see the Capitol through all that fog. What can we expect, and when will things clear up? Your first warn forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canulti. He's out on the weather patio. Oh, but now you have the umbrella. Hi, Gary.
We've got the wet. The windy will be coming tomorrow. Let's start out by taking a look at radar, and you can see a large area of rain and a few thunderstorms basically running from southwest to northeast right through most of southern Wisconsin. A closer view on high-resolution radar shows a band of a little heavier thunderstorms over southeastern Dane County from around Edgerton to Stoughton to just north of Janesville. These could bring some gusty winds, but for the most part, it's just rain and some heavier embedded areas of showers. You can see on 6-hour future track radar, don't expect any drying this evening. The rain will continue, and there could be some heavier showers that could bring some locally heavy rainfall amounts. So we do have an alert day in the forecast for tonight for the possibility for some heavy rain. Some areas may end up with more than 2 inches of rain since it started this morning. Some areas have already picked up over an inch. And then tomorrow, winds will pick up. We have the potential for some high winds, 45 to 50 miles per hour or stronger. So we have an alert day for that. In fact, a wind advisory is in effect from 4 a.m. tomorrow morning till 10 p.m. tomorrow evening for areas east of Lone Rock and Wisconsin Dells. High temperatures today before the rain started, 65 Madison, 70 in Lone Rock. But notice current temperatures. Lone Rock's dropped back to 55. It's in the 40s north and west of there, but still in the lower 60s over southeastern Wisconsin. 59 right now in Edgerton, 55 in Middleton. Look for temperatures to stay nearly steady in the lower to middle 50s this evening with rain and some thunderstorms. I'll have more on how much rain to expect and how strong the winds will be tomorrow in just a few minutes.
All right, Gary, thank you. They're too young to vote in this election, but kids in our area are finding other ways to get engaged.
Tahlil Modine spoke with members of a local organization helping to amplify their voices. Tahlil?
The Urban League of Greater Madison says kids aren't only interested in politics and politicians that impact our lives, they've got their own ideas. The Urban League launched its Vote For Me campaign featuring several kids from southern Wisconsin, hoping to inspire those who can vote to head to the polls on Tuesday. Urban League President and CEO Dr. Ruben Anthony says he's been inspired by those kids choosing to get involved.
Really just refreshing to know that this group of young people, are insightful, concerned, and really worried about what the future would look like.
This year will mark the second major election the Urban League has run the campaign. Leaders say they're hoping to repeat the success they had in 2020. Tonight at 6, we'll hear from one of the kids involved in the campaign and a few others who want you to get out and vote.
We will see you at 6. Thank you, Tahlil. For many of you, school referendums are on the ballot this election. Some are asking for help to keep the districts operational. Others are asking for capital project funding. And in Waunakee, district leaders are asking for both. We told you about these referendums earlier this week. Waunakee's proposal is the most expensive at $175 million to fund the building of 2 new schools. The other is a $10 million budget referendum. Some parents feel these are excessive.
That is a significant jump in cost, and while we know some costs have gone up, that is a very large bill. And many of us feel that cost was not weighed against in the decision-making process, really weighing what we need versus what it costs.
John admitted there are capacity problems at the middle school, but he says the growth that is expected is met with reasonable skepticism.
Senator Bernie Sanders in Madison tonight to encourage young people to vote next week. The Our Future Is Now rally will be held at the Orpheum Theater. Doors open at 6:30. Sanders will take the stage at 8. The event is first come, first serve. Actor LeVar Burton also in Madison today, hitting the campaign trail with Democratic Senate candidate Mandela Barnes. Burton was joined by Barnes and Senator Tammy Baldwin at the Gray's restaurant this afternoon. They spoke about why voting in Tuesday's election is more important than ever. Burton also commended Barnes for rising to high political office.
I love this country with all of my heart and soul. And it does me proud to see men like Mandela Barnes rising to high office in states like Wisconsin. This man deserves to be a United States Senator.
Burton also discussed how much he disliked Senator Ron Johnson for his views on race and COVID.
In the run-up to the election, a Milwaukee election official now faces charges for illegally requesting absentee ballots.
But the top election official in the state says Wisconsin's election remains secure. Political reporter Will Keneally has more on those safeguards. Will.
That's right. So the deputy director for Milwaukee's Elections Commission, Kimberly Zapata, used the state's public-facing website to request special military absentee ballots. So those were sent to a state rep who turned them in, so they were not cast. But even though that they were sent out, Wisconsin Elections Commission Administrator Megan Wolf says there are other safeguards before an illegally requested ballot could be counted. And she is confident that those would have caught those ballots.
But I do feel confident in this particular instance that our local election officials would have identified it prior to that point or that opportunity for a ballot to be returned. But if a ballot was returned, that's another opportunity for the local election official to follow up on that information, to make any verifications that they think are appropriate.
So Wolf added that those type of military ballots are incredibly rare in Wisconsin. So for example, if a significant number of new military ballots are ordered, that would raise a red flag for election workers, both at the city level, but also at the state level. So Zapata now faces 4 criminal charges, including a felony for misconduct in office. She could face up to 5 years in prison and a $13,000 fine for all 4 counts.
Will, thank you. Polling shows every major candidate in Wisconsin's top-line races is deeply underwater in popularity. And ultimately, it's the voters left feeling disillusioned and unheard.
I don't feel like either have taken enough time to, really listen to what it is that people are actually worried about.
I know some of them are just like, I'm not voting because I have to vote for Democrat, and Democrats don't do anything.
Even though there's not an issue on which I agree with Governor Tony Evers or with Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, I'm planning on voting for them in this November's election.
Join Naomi Coles on this exploration of the issues driving a bitterly divided state in one of many deep dives airing in an hour-long election special tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. You can find everything you need to know about Election Day on channel3000.com.
Well, the past few months have been disappointing and alarming for the Jewish community in Madison, between local anonymous anti-Semitic chalk to very public and vocal comments from celebrities. Catherine Merck spoke with the Jewish Federation of Madison about the impact these incidents are having on our friends and neighbors.
Simply scrolling through Twitter, you can't miss the conversation surrounding anti-Semitism.
Series of recent high-profile anti-Semitic incidents, primarily surrounding controversial posts by celebrities on social media.
Comments like Irving's and similar ones from rapper Kanye West are adding fuel to the fire of hate. Crimes targeting Jewish people are up 47% this year.
What we're seeing in the media is something Alan Klugman with the Jewish Federation of Madison has seen for a long time.
We're profoundly concerned about the increase in anti-Semitic acts and acts of violence.
But it's not just a concern somewhere else. Someone wrote anti-Semitic messages in chalk on UW-Madison's campus in September.
It's regrettable. It should not have happened.
Then last weekend, a man seen wearing an Adolf Hitler costume on State Street. He was fired from his job at the Madison Children's Museum on Tuesday. Madison police said the man has a cognitive impairment, but his actions still led to a response from the museum and UW-Madison about the hate these actions can cause.
When somebody is cognitively impaired, I'm not sure that we can say it's as vicious a form of anti-Semitism.
Though hatred against this community can take different forms, we can still see it, even just in passing. Klugman says it's important to remember the people who these words refer to.
We can best support this community by standing up to all forms of hatred, including anti-Semitism. When we see it, we have to report it. fiercely and immediately.
Reporting in Madison, I'm Catherine Merck with News 3 Now.
And there have been swift responses on a national scale. Kyrie Irving was suspended for 5 games, and Kanye West has lost out on several business deals.
One of the biggest, most disturbing court cases in recent memory played out in Dane County in January. The Halderson murders will be featured on CBS's 48 Hours tomorrow night. But the Dane County Sheriff's Office says they only agreed to participate if the show stuck to certain rules. You'll recall Chandler Halderson was convicted of murdering and dismembering his parents, Bart and Krista. 48 Hours first approached the Sheriff's Office about doing a show on the case while the trial was going on. Dane County agreed as long as the show didn't focus on the gory details.
They were extremely thorough in making sure that they stuck to the facts and are not going to sensationalize the case.
You can watch the show tomorrow night right here on News 3 at 9 o'clock. It includes interviews with 2 of the lead detectives from the Dane County Sheriff's Office. And coming up tonight at 6, we'll hear what the Sheriff's Office wants you to know about the upcoming episode.
Well, next at 5, another alert day in the forecast for tomorrow. Gary has the latest.
Plus, thousands of Twitter employees were laid off today without warning just 1 week after Elon Musk took over the company. Why those who still have jobs have to fight for them. And later, you've probably noticed gas prices shot up again over the last week. They're up 40 cents. What experts say is causing that rise coming up tonight at 6.
And on Wall Street today, the Dow Industrials up 401 points, the NASDAQ up 132, the S&P 500 up 50. We'll be right back.
Black November starts now at Furniture and Appliance Mart. Save big on appliances like this Whirlpool all-gas range, now just $6.99. Plus, guaranteed delivery within 5 days. Furniture and Appliance Mart, inside Ashley off the Beltline in East Springs Drive.
I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
All units, all units. Reports of an abortion at Central Hospital. Officers needed to detain doctor.
If Ron Johnson has his way, he wouldn't just ban abortions. Doctors could go to jail for it. And Johnson's tried for over a decade. He even co-sponsored a bill with no exceptions for rape, incest, or the life of the woman. And said if women don't like an abortion ban, they can just move. But it's Ron Johnson who doesn't belong in Wisconsin.
'Tis the season for the Menards Enchanted Forest. Take a stroll through a Christmas tradition that goes back over 60 years. We have everything you need to make your home a Christmas winter wonderland, inside or out. Find the perfect outdoor inflatable. Choose your tree. Find the perfect ornaments and garlands. Can't forget the tree topper. Menards Enchanted Forest has all your Christmas needs. Even Santa can't miss out on these savings and selection.
There will always be bumps in the road, but we got guts, America. We got freedom. We got power. We got future. So let's drive on and make the future we want to see together. Because your new Ford vehicle is just the start of a journey. So stop by your Ford dealer today and claim one of the thousands of new Ford trucks and SUVs on their way. We've been building this country for 119 years, but we're just getting started.
In every corner of our state, Wisconsinites feel the impact of a changing climate, from the effects on our crops and livestock to the damage to our roads and highways. That's why Governor Tony Evers has a plan to take action and protect our state. It will get Wisconsin to 100% clean energy, lower power bills, grow our local economies, and create more than 40,000 jobs right here in Wisconsin. Tony Evers, focused on doing the right thing for Wisconsin families.
Black November starts now at Ashley. For a limited time, take a bonus 20% off your purchase of $19.99 or more at checkout. Plus, get 60 months special financing, no minimum and no money down. Happening now only at Ashley.
As Campaign 2022 approaches the finish line, News 3 Now presents a special midterm election preview.
We're spotlighting key races and issues, fact-checking candidates, and hearing the voices of voters in battleground Wisconsin.
Saturday at 7 p.m. on News 3 Now.
Before you cast your vote on Tuesday, log on to channel3000.com for comprehensive information on voting, candidate reality checks, and what's on the ballot. Get the facts and information you need before you head to the polls. News 3 Now, your election headquarters. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Well, the CDC says flu hospitalizations are the highest they've been in a decade. The increase comes as RSV cases continue to surge across the country. The respiratory virus is triggering health emergency declarations in several cities, including some in Texas and California. RSV is a common virus that usually causes minimal symptoms, such as a cough or a scratchy throat, but it can be severe in older adults and infants.
Because of COVID restrictions, these children were separate. The virus couldn't find us. Now that they're all together again, the virus can spread readily. And
health experts say vaccinations against the flu and COVID are the #1 way to protect children.
Well, Twitter employees have been bracing for bad news, and today, many of them got it.
Tanya Rivero tells us the company began mass layoffs just a week after Elon Musk took over.
With offices temporarily closed, Twitter employees received the bad news at home, many of them tweeting they'd been cut off from their work accounts. That included Simon Balmain.
I found that my work laptop was remotely wiped and access to Slack and Gmail revoked.
The layoffs came as new owner Elon Musk overhauls the company, looking to cut costs after last week's $44 billion buyout. He had previously indicated plans to cut at least half of Twitter's 7,500 workers.
Twitter now has to pay $1 billion in interest payments every year to their lenders, which is more than they have brought in profit.
Those who still have jobs had to fight for them.
This is like a Hunger Games contest where the few remaining staffers who at least for now are still there, are trying to prove that they are worthy of Elon.
Workers filed a class action lawsuit Thursday night saying the layoffs violate the law requiring a company to give notice before mass layoffs. And beyond the staff cuts are questions of how Musk plans to manage the platform's content.
So many of my friends rely on Twitter for news, and it's frightening to wonder about the future of Twitter.
As the layoffs spread, Musk was at a conference in New York where he blamed activists for a drop in Twitter's revenue.
Recently, I had a lot of difficulty with activist groups pressuring major advertisers to stop spending money on Twitter.
Musk accused activist groups of trying to destroy free speech, calling it an attack on the First Amendment. Tanya Rivero, CBS News, New York.
And in his first day as new owner, Musk fired Twitter's top executives, including the CEO. Well, if you're headed out tonight, don't forget the umbrella. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti has more on the weather alert days.
Yeah, kind of hard to miss the umbrella if you walk out the door because you're going to need it right away. We have an alert day in the forecast for tonight for the continued prospect for heavy rain. Some of us already seen over an inch of rain. We could see another inch to an inch and a half through much of southern Wisconsin overnight. So all of southern Wisconsin is going to be affected. The heaviest totals overall probably end up west of Madison, where they've already had rain for much of the day. But we also have an alert day in the forecast for tomorrow for strong winds that could gust from 45 to 50 miles per hour or more. Here, the greatest probability for the strongest winds will be from Madison on toward the east. As we look at storm reports, there were some hail reports from a couple of strong to briefly severe thunderstorms that moved out of Lafayette County through Dane County and then into Dodge County. One of the hail reports up around Columbus was of $half-dollar size, but most of these hail reports were about penny to dime sized or nickel sized at the highest level. Otherwise, you can clearly see rain vision over the last 24 hours. The heavier rains, much of southern Wisconsin, these areas of brighter blue, around an inch of rain. The darker blue between about a half inch and an inch. And then you get into the darker greens, that's more about a half inch of rain. So again, we've gotten a pretty good soaking, and there's more on the way. There's high resolution Doppler radar. You can see that rain just kind of spreading up from Iowa, Illinois, and even back into parts of Missouri. So the rain will continue for much of the evening. Farther to the north and west west, the rain really cuts off once you get north and west of La Crosse. But across our area, it's the rain that will continue. Wind advisory in effect from 4 a.m. until tomorrow morning until 10 p.m. tomorrow evening for areas east of Platteville to Lone Rock to Wisconsin Dells line. For tonight, showers, a few thunderstorms this evening. Some of those can have heavy downpours. Low 53 this evening. Then temperatures holding nearly steady or even rising overnight. And our high of 60 will be early tomorrow morning. It'll become very windy with the passage of a cold front, and those temperatures will drop into the 40s in the afternoon. Those winds could gust to 35 to 50 miles per hour. As we look at planning your day, showers, a few thunderstorms this evening. Notice the areas of heavier rain. I mean, not widespread, but just about everybody will be seeing rain at most times this evening, and then just these embedded heavier showers. As we head past midnight, the heavier showers start to wind down. In fact, the precipitation starts to break up a little bit as the cold front approaches. Notice the temperatures, though, rising to around 60 by early tomorrow morning, and then watch what happens. After the passage of the cold front, there's the 60-degree temperature on 9, and then we're back into the mid-50s by noontime, and then into the 40s in the afternoon. Rainfall amounts could see an additional ½ to 1.5 inches, maybe locally 2 inches of rain over parts of southeastern Wisconsin if heavier thunderstorms develop there. But take a look at future track winds beginning early tomorrow morning. They ramp up into the 35 to 40 mile per hour range and then get into the 35 to 50 mile per hour range during the early afternoon hours. Notice these strong wind gusts. And then as we head into tomorrow evening, the strongest winds start to shift up into the Fox Valley, and those winds start to die down overnight. As we check out the 7 to 10 day forecast, those temperatures stay mild, just not as mild. 59 on Sunday, 51 on Monday, a little bit of a cool down there. 55 for Election Day Tuesday, with just a slight chance for an afternoon shower. Then up into the lower 60s Wednesday and Thursday. On Veterans Day, though, we'll see falling temperatures from a morning high of 45. Rain showers could mix with snow before ending, and then temperatures only in the lower 40s for next weekend and upper 30s beyond that. As we check out first warn traffic right now, things are looking pretty good. Not seeing any major slowdown, just a few minor slowdowns, but traffic moving a little slower than normal because of the rain out there. Right now, about a 17-minute trip either way on the Beltline between University Avenue and the interstate. Heading out of Madison, a 28-minute trip from the Beltline to Janesville on I-3990, 17 minutes from Middleton to Sauk City on US 12, downtown to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151 will take you 20 minutes. That's your news through now first warn traffic.
All right, thank you, Gary. Coming up, businesses continue to hire, but at a slower rate. We'll take a closer look at the latest job numbers when we come back.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
After a serious car crash, can you trust your insurance company to take care of you? Call Gruber Law Offices. We'll make sure you're not taken advantage of and get you and your family what you deserve. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
It was Halloween. My daughter stopped at 3 homes, her girlfriend's house, her teacher's house, and the man that murdered her. He molested her and he put her in a garbage bag. He was going to be released in 2018. Josh called. He was not there for me at all. You want some help to find out what's going on, and he doesn't help. He don't care about the victims. I know Eric Toney does. Eric Toney helped keep that man that murdered my daughter from being released. Eric Toney's always been there for me, and that's the kind of attorney general we need.
DePaco Credit Union members are better together because together members share thank yous, a DePaco-only perk that thanks members in cash. And because you're not just a member, you're also an owner, everyone benefits. How will this year's nearly $3.7 million in thank yous benefit you and your community? Since 2016, DePaco members have shared nearly $24.4 million. We truly are better together. Join the movement where your member ownership pays. Visit your nearest DePaco branch or join online at depaco.com.
What happens to your body language when you use Dove Dry Spray? It shows. Try Dove Dry Spray. Our weightless formula with 1/4 moisturizers is effective and kind to skin, leaving you feeling instantly dry and confident.
Got other things to do this week?
You pour your heart into everything you do, which is a lot. So take care of that heart with Lipton. Because sipping on unsweetened Lipton can help support a healthy heart. Lipton. Stop chugging, start sipping.
Keep bragging about your buck after the hunt with wild game processing from Johnson's Sausage Shop in Ryle, Wisconsin. Friends enjoy a hunting story more over a jalapeno cheddar stick. Johnson's Sausage Shop accepts wild game 7 days a week. First bucks in are the first brats out.
The upcoming holidays are hectic enough without having to worry about appliances breaking down. Family-owned Brothers Maine is having a Veterans Day sale featuring kitchen and laundry deals on GE appliances. The lowest prices guaranteed. Feel like family. Brothers Maine.
Radical Tim Michaels is extremely divisive.
I don't care who I offend.
And at his company, the culture comes from the top. Multiple court filings say women were sexually assaulted, harassed, and pressured to have sex with their bosses.
If she refused demands for sex, she would be blackballed from working on a pipeline job.
Higher-ups dismissed the women as liars and fired those who spoke out.
I don't care who I offend.
That's how Tim Michaels runs his company. Don't let him run our state.
After a serious accident, never take on the insurance company alone. Let us help. We'll go to work for you right away and take care of every aspect of your case. Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Well, if you want to, you still have time to buy a lottery ticket. The Powerball jackpot is now the world's largest lottery prize ever offered. With no winner over the last 3 months, it's grown to $1.6 billion. The winner can opt for gradual payments over 29 years or a lump sum payment of more than $782 million. The next drawing is tomorrow night.
Well, latest job numbers show businesses continue to bring in workers, but hiring is slowing down. The Labor Department says employers added 261,000 jobs in October. Historically, that's a healthy number, but it's down from the average of 381,000 jobs over the previous 3 months. Unemployment jumped to 3.7%, what some economists say is a result of a long-term demographic trends.
We have more than 10,000 baby boomers retiring a day, and we saw roughly about 358,000 people exit the labor force in what we call the household survey that's used to derive the unemployment rate.
For some in the restaurant industry, the latest numbers paint a sobering picture of where the economy is headed. In recent months, many have increased menu prices while also reducing hours of operation. We'll have a final check of your first warn forecast when we come back.
Black November starts now at Furniture and Appliance Mart. Save big on appliances like this Whirlpool all-gas range, now just $6.99. Plus, guaranteed delivery within 5 days. Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley off the Beltline in East Springs Drive.
Breaking news in Dallas, Texas, where at least 5 police officers were killed when they were ambushed.
This was the deadliest day for U.S. law enforcement since 9/11.
Just days after this horrific crime, Mandela Barnes appeared on Vladimir Putin's propaganda news outlet and rationalized violence against American police officers.
Police officers are over-exercising their badges. This probably was a retaliatory attack.
Do you want Mandela Barnes representing you in the Senate?
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Everything seems to be getting more and more expensive these days. And it's the same for your heating bills. Since it will cost more to heat your home this winter, USA Insulation wants to give you control over your utility bills. Our premium injection foam keeps the cold outside and your warm, comfortable air inside, right where it belongs. Call now before winter and get a $500 early bird discount.
USA Insulation.
There will always be bumps in the road, but we got guts, America. We got freedom. We got power. We got future. So let's drive on and make the future we want to see together. Because your new Ford vehicle is just the start of a journey. So stop by your Ford dealer today and claim one of the thousands of new Ford trucks and SUVs on their way. We've been building this country for 119 years, but we're just getting started.
Wells Fargo lets you know where you stand with your FICO credit score. What if you knew where you stood with everything? Like your future in-laws.
Hope you like cats.
I hope your parents like me. They're whispering.
The kitties like her.
Can they tell I'm allergic?
Tears of joy.
Welcome to the family.
Like knowing where you stand? When it comes to your credit score, you can with Wells Fargo.
A 12-year-old girl can't legally drive a car. At 12, she can't even vote. But if this little girl were tragically raped or a victim of incest and became pregnant, Radical Tim Michaels would force her to deliver the baby. He said it's, quote, not unreasonable for the state government to mandate rape victims to give birth. Would it be unreasonable if he were forcing this on you? Let him know on Election Day.
Black November starts now at Ashley. For a limited time, take a bonus 20% off your purchase of $19.99 or more at checkout. Plus, get 60 months special financing, no minimum and no money down. Happening now only at Ashley.
A wet evening here in southern Wisconsin.
Yeah, well, take a look at the radar. You tell me. That looks pretty wet to me. Yeah, a few thunderstorms. Looks like some heavier downpours across Rock County, around between Janesville and Beloit. But you can see over the next 6 hours, not much change. That flow of moisture just continues right across southern Wisconsin. Temperatures range from the middle 60s, where the rain is just starting over southeastern Wisconsin, to the lower 40s out toward La Crosse. We're going to stay in the mid 50s for most of the evening, but it'll be a little cooler to the northwest and a little warmer to the southeast.
A good evening to own a cat.
Yeah, so watch a good movie. Thanks for your help tonight, Mark. Have a great weekend, everybody. Hope to see you back here at 6.